So, Phoebe, thank you so much for joining us today. Today, we're just going to do a quick Q&A just to hear a little bit more from you about the London Marathon in 2024 and to prepare this year's runners to make sure that they have kind of up-to-date training tips, lots of information about effective workout ideas, and just to hear a little bit more about your race routine and then recovery afterwards. Okay, so we'll start with what do you think in terms of effective workouts really helps you to build endurance in the lead up to the marathon?
So I actually use the app Runner that helped me basically construct all of my 16 weeks of running program. So it broke it down to having kind of easy runs at like 5 to 10K and then kind of tempo runs, which are pretty intense for pre-work exercise. But I actually do think those kind of sprint intervals did actually help the endurance like long term. So you do kind of one of those runs a week, and then you do your kind of long run of whatever week you were at. And I kind of think that, I mean, as much as they were quite they're quite brutal, I think I always try to drag someone along to do some of it. So they were they were good. It was
Oh,
good to do it.
fantastic. So when you're doing these runs, you're doing a couple of short runs and then like a big run. How did you manage to incorporate that into your kind of work-life balance and change up your schedule to add this new addition of running into it?
Yeah, so I basically could only really fit in 3 runs a week. And so yeah, I did a short run, this tempo run, and then I normally do Saturday morning would be my long run. So I kind of and then I kind of arranged my social life and work life around those runs basically. So that meant that I still kind of had a Saturday evening with friends, and then Sunday I could also chill and do nothing, rather than kind of spend the entire weekend for a Sunday run. So I think for me mentally to go out and do a kind of 20 or a 30K run on a Sunday was just never going to happen. So I put it on the Saturday, so I just kind of got it over and done with and could enjoy my weekend.
Nice. So doing your long runs on a Saturday, do you think that that kind of motivated you, the idea of having the Sunday off?
Yes, 100%. I don't think I could have. I honestly, even thinking about it now, I don't think I could have done a 30K run on a Sunday.
No, of course. And when do you think you got to a point where you actually ran your first marathon
um,
before the event?
so I actually never ran the full like 42K. I think the longest I did was 34, and I actually took. I kind of every run I did, I planned it out. So I went either, I don't know, down to Hampton Court or somewhere kind of a new place, or I took the train somewhere and then would like run home. So it was quite a nice. The long runs then made it a bit more into like a like an adventure. And so um and yeah, I kind of think that kind of motivated me to do those like longer runs, because then I had something to look at, new environment. So yeah.
When you talk about new environment, I'm intrigued. Did you ever trace any of the steps of the kind of marathon route beforehand, or did you leave it completely fresh?
So I coincidentally did this without really realizing. So I actually ran to Victoria Park on one of my really long runs. And obviously the last like 10K you run from, is it Limehouse Basin all the way back down, like basically where the Circle and District Line are. And so yeah, on my run home after doing that 34K was obviously the last bit of the marathon. So when I like looked at the marathon route, I kind of was already visualizing, okay, I've done that bit of the run. And I do actually think that helped. Although I knew the kind of distance, how long it would be, I kind of had placeholders of where I would turn home. Or yeah, I definitely think it was a good thing to have done without
It's
really realizing I'd done it.
Yeah, it's interesting you say it was almost like that last leg as well, because I think for some people that can be like the most difficult part. So
Yeah.
how did you stay like mentally strong in those last few miles?
Um, So I had quite a big support group that kind of supported me in different miles of the marathon, and actually a lot of my like home friends were all like all the way along the last few miles. So like from let's say like 20 to 24, a lot of people were there. So for me, I was more just like people spotting, trying to find them, which then kind of took my mind off like how I was really like fatiguing. But again, also it was quite fun because a lot more of the well Outward Bound I think were at 21, I think, mile 21,
Yeah.
and that's a kind of it kind of got a bit like party zone. They had lots of like confetti and loads of other charities, but also had music playing, and we had like obviously you guys had like big foam hands, and it was just it was a kind of party atmosphere when you're kind of so tired that I don't know, it just kept me going.
It completely makes sense. I like what you were saying about like navigating between like groups of people as well. Did you also kind of know where the like hydration or like aid stations were going to be along the way?
So I knew at the beginning, I kind of knew where they were, and then by the end, I kind of lost where they were. Although there were so many signs saying, like hydration point or Lucasade point, um, and like looking back, I didn't realize how thirsty I was getting. I got whilst running. Like normally, I'd carry like a running vest, and I'd have, I think it's like 500 mils of white water and like an energy like liquid, and I didn't realize how thirsty I would get, and so actually I was very fortunate that the fueling stations are like very close together, so don't
Oh my
feel
gosh.
yeah, don't feel like you're gonna run out of water because I didn't, and I was very thirsty.
I can
um,
totally see how it's a different kind of run that you're used to. Like usually everything's self-sufficient, whereas in this case, because it's an event, everyone's kind of looking after each other. It's
yeah,
good to know that there is like, oh gosh, I'm thirsty. Oh, there's the hydration station.
yeah,
Perfect.
yeah, exactly.
Post marathon, what were you most excited about? Was it getting a drink? Was it, seeing your friends? How did you feel?
Um, It was kind of strange to start walking. I know that sounds absurd, but I remember crossing the line and being like, I don't have to run anymore. So that was kind of initially a bit strange to then walk. And so I met like my parents at Horse Guards Parade, and then met the rest of the group with the Outward Bound kind of welcome, well done reception. And actually, I remember, and something I actually spoke about with Izzy was how you guys offered toothbrushes, and I have never ever wanted to brush my teeth so much when I came to the event, and so oddly, recovery was great because I could brush my teeth.
That's so
um,
interesting. I've like never heard that before with running. Had you had that before with any of your other runs, or was this just post marathon?
no, I think it was just like this post marathon, like, oh, actually, that would be so nice because you're taking on so much odd fuel. Like for me, I was fueling through like energy bars and like gels and stuff, and then obviously water. So it's that you're running over lunchtime basically. So it was kind of odd, but yeah. And then I guess kind of the weeks afterwards, I was extremely stiff afterwards. And I did try and do some stretching and stuff, but I took probably like two and a bit weeks off running at all, and actually any fitness, which I think was probably the minimum I could have done to
Wow.
recover. Yeah.
Did you find that difficult stopping after building that habit for so long?
Yeah, I think I did, but I also my body was very much saying you need to take a break. And I felt actually through the entire marathon process, I became very I understood my body quite a lot, and I was like listening to it in terms of okay, I'm a bit achy, like maybe I should do some more stretching. And so then actually post marathon, I knew that I had to kind of listen to what my muscles were saying. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah.
No, wow. I mean, it sounds like it was quite a journey for you. How do you think that running the marathon has impacted your life, like long term?
I think I went into wanting to do a marathon quite a while ago. Well, probably like 18 months ago. I think my kind of 15-year-old self would have said, absolutely not, am I doing a marathon? I'm normally someone that's always played like team sports. So I've never been an individual person with any kind of sporting thing. Um, but then I think it's interesting. I think it's completely changed my perception on a challenge. I think I've proven to myself that I can do something that is kind of absurd. Like you're running 42 kilometers in one go. And I think, yeah, it kind of made me realize I can do these things if I like really put my mind to it. And I mean, I still run now. I've done triathlons this year, like since the marathon. So I think it's more if I'm in doubt, I think about the moment that I've been able to do this program and run a marathon. So yeah, I think it's
Mm.
definitely motivated me.
You've almost proven to yourself that actually, if you can have the idea that you are capable of it, and I think that it's so impressive that running marathon is something that you hadn't considered in the past, and then it was something that you were like, great, okay, maybe I'll give it a go, and I think
Yeah,
it is, as you say, coming back to like, it is a big party. It is that whole sense of like camaraderie you get, and in a sense it
yeah,
kind of is a team sport in a way,
yeah.
just with so many people doing the same thing at the same time. The London Marathon itself is such a moment in time, really. Are you, in terms of your entire experience, what do you think that your most memorable moment was from it?
Um, it's kind of interesting. So at I knew that my mum was going to be at mile 11, which was also where the Outward Bound support
Cheers
uh
station, yeah.
yeah, exactly was. And so I had in like my mind, okay, I'm just going to get to mile 11, then I'll like guarantee see someone I knew. And anyway, unbeknown to me, my brother who lives in a different country flew over and he was at that station. And I remember him like popping out of the crowd and I just completely broke down and like in kind of like tears. Well, I don't know why, but and that was like super memorable because I was like, you've flown over to kind of see me run this, and your photographer caught like the whole thing on camera. So there's pictures of me like in tears, hugging my mum and brother. So that was pretty memorable. But then also a lot of my family like came out to watch, and so I think yeah, I guess as I said earlier, like it's an individual thing, but actually everyone gets involved. And like so like my parents and friends and stuff all kind of got involved with supporting me. So I think it wasn't just like one moment in like memorable moment. It's like the entire day was just really fun and like yeah.
Oh, that's so amazing. I love that your brother came over and surprised you. That must have been such a difficult secret for them to have kept,
I know.
especially as they probably wanted to like motivate you more by saying that he was going to be there.
Yeah, I know. And like he had like phoned me the day before, being like, "What's your game plan? What are you gonna do?" Unbeknown to me, he's literally in England, like about to like make his way to London. So that was funny.
Wow. So,
Yeah.
after the marathon, what else has been on the cards for you since? Are you still keen to participate in other kind of mass sporting events? Are you taking a little break?
So I kind of, yeah, initially took a bit of a break, but I also do like triathlons. So I've did some triathlons this year, but I think this is the goal before I'm 30, I want to do a half Ironman. So I feel like that it could be on the cards in the next like 2 years. So now that I have the bug.
Yes, it's
um,
definitely like watch this space kind of thing. If you can do a marathon, you can do a half an ultra marathon. It's Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it, really? Do you think that you'll want to do it in this country, or is it something you'd be looking to do abroad?
No, I think my next marathon might be abroad. I think potentially, I mean, it's not just like bringing yourself, it's like bringing your bike and wetsuit and stuff. So it's quite a little more logistics
Yeah, of
to
course.
do a triathlon abroad. But no, I think it's definitely doing this has like woken something up in me that's like can do stuff other stuff.
Honestly, I think that's amazing. Thank you so much, Phoebe. It's been really lovely to just hear about your experience. And I can see it's nice that you're smiling about it, which I think, as you say, it is an emotional journey as you go. But you can look back and go, I'm super proud of what I've done and I can see what
Yeah.
I've achieved. And I can confirm that all of your efforts for Outer Bound have just been amazing. You know, I think that the work that people do to run the marathon, all the fundraising, all the training. It's not one dimensional by any means. It's everything all at once in a very intense period. So yeah, thank you so much for
Well, thank you
supporting
so much
everyone.
for letting me run for you guys. It's been like a great, like an amazing experience, and also, you know, wish the best of luck for all the 2025 runners. It is
Thank you
an
so
overwhelming
much.
experience, but you'll enjoy it when you look back.
I love that. I'm sure that they will look back and they'll be very proud of themselves in the same way that you are. Okay, thank you so much.